Self-improvement is a quiet construction, and that very quietness creates the difference in love. Self-improvement is never a spectacular event filled with fireworks and applause. It happens in solitary evenings when the world is asleep and you remain awake with yourself, fixing one bad habit, turning one more page even when your eyes burn, choosing rest over mindless scrolling, choosing silence over pointless arguments. These acts are small, unseen, unwitnessed, unpraised. Yet it is precisely this consistent accumulation of invisible choices that quietly forges a stronger, more solid version of you. A woman who deeply understands the value of time, of energy, and above all, of her own heart. Because she understands, she cannot afford to be careless. Superficiality is always the first thing a person of depth detects. It arrives in sweet-sounding words without substance, in fleeting emotions that flare and fade quickly, in promises made in the heat of excitement without any plan to follow through. A woman who has invested years in building herself is not swept away by that frantic pace. She is accustomed to slowness, accustomed to verifying through actions rather than words, accustomed to listening to an intuition sharpened by countless mistakes, countless pains, and countless quiet recoveries. To her, emotion is not something to be handed out carelessly like cheap candy. Emotion is sacred. It must be placed in the right place, with the right person, at the right time. A woman who has filled herself first does not seek a relationship to patch up inner emptiness. She is already whole. She does not need anyone to validate her worth, nor does she need someone to stay at all costs just to soothe her fear of loneliness. Because of this, she refuses mediocrity, refuses to compromise with disrespect, and never confuses genuine care with temporary convenience. Giving your entire life to someone is not a romantic moment under moonlight. It is a long-term, deliberate choice that demands profound clarity and maturity. The superficial person may bring intense excitement and butterflies in the beginning, but they cannot provide lasting peace. A woman who has truly built herself looks beyond momentary feelings. She observes how the other person faces difficulties, how they keep their word, how they take responsibility when things are no longer rosy, and most importantly, how they treat others when there is nothing left to gain. She is not arrogant, nor is she closed off. She is simply clear about her standards, clear about her non-negotiable boundaries, clear about what she deserves and what she will never accept. She can stay alone for a very long time without feeling incomplete, which is why she refuses to hurriedly grab a hand that isn't steady enough to walk through storms with her. In truth, the greatest difference between superficial people and people of depth in love is not how much they love, but the attachment style they bring into relationships. One enters from a place of anxiety, fear of abandonment, or the need to prove their worth through love. The other has achieved secure attachment. They love not because they lack something, but because they are full enough to give, strong enough to offer without fear of loss. If you'd like to understand your own attachment style more deeply, the classic book Attached, The New Science of Adult Attachment by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller is an illuminating journey. And in the end, the woman who has patiently built herself over years does not choose love based on fleeting emotion. She chooses based on respect for her own life. She knows that a heart forged through years of quiet work, through countless self-healings, through countless choices to stand tall instead of collapse, needs no proof, no rush to give itself away. She waits only for someone mature enough to hold it, deep enough to keep it safe, and kind enough never to let it fall. Because to her, love is not about finding someone to fill the loneliness. Love is choosing someone worthy of entering a life that has been carefully, tenderly, and reverently preserved for a very long time. And only when that person arrives does she open the door, not out of need, but because they deserve it.